Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. Friends, we have ended this week with humongous gains, and those who are watching my USA weekly market report, I have been saying this thing for the last 1 month. And if you are the one, or if you are somebody who has been watching my videos and you have followed the same, a normal person, without being an expert, a normal person would have made a huge amount of money, because in the last 1 month, even if you are taking your calls on indices, it has given a huge move. I can clearly see the Dow Jones moved up by more than 3500%, 3500 points, beg your pardon. Then you have Nasdaq, which has moved by nearly 1300 to 1500 points. So these are staggering amount of price moves that we have seen, and this is something which I have keep on saying for the last month. You, if you want, you can go and previously on my previous videos, you can possibly go and check them out. So in this video we are going to discuss about what are the most important things that has happened, and then what we can expect going forward, which means in the next upcoming week on Wall Street. So let's start discussing and analyzing all the things. But before that, if you haven't yet subscribed my channel yet, just hit on the subscription button, also hit on the notification bell along with the all button to get my updated video notification. So you can clearly see the stock market move is now making the headline, because Nasdaq in these particular 2 days, I mean 11th and I think 10th and 11th of November 2022, the index itself added more than 8% gains. So you can probably guess how much the stock has already been moved, because it can move by 50, 60, 100%. So last specific week was very important and interesting, and you can see big moves have been happening. Now I don't want to go into this Elon Musk and Twitter kind of things, because let it settle down, then we will see. Then we have Disney plans target hiring freeze, job cut and other cost reduction. And this is not only about because Disney is a big company, so if they are doing something, obviously it will become a news. But we have seen the same with lots of other companies, and the big news was Meta. So you can clearly see Meta announced 10% employee cut. So that's huge. They have more than 87,000 I mean 87,000, more than 87,000 employees, and they have said that I think nearly 10,000 they are going to wipe out. So it's more than 10%. So you can see this is happening all across. And I'll explain you one more important thing which you need to understand. Okay, that statement is very important. But first, let us go through all the other important headlines. So, yeah, Britain's business are running out of light as country faces longest ever recession. Now, Britain is a colony. We know about this thing, and a colony cannot survive without means. And whether Brexit is right or wrong, that does not matter. But because they were in EU, some of the things will get sorted out, but now they are all alone and they have to face the circumstances. And when we come to economics, it doesn't matter how many golden buildings you have in your country, but obviously you cannot sell them out to buy foods and groceries. So the thing is, it's going to be a very, very tough next couple of years for Britain. And economics in general terms, when it turns against you, obviously it is not specific to any country but across the globe, bad economics will always punish the people. And over a period of time, one need to understand and make sensible moves. It not always your position, your caste, your color, your uh, races, it does not matter until and unless you have basic priorities that get fulfilled. If you have that, you will think about lots of unnecessary things, and countries who don't have that, they are suffering to get those things. So you need to make a fine balance in between them. Either you are a rich country and poor country. Okay, so I hope that sanity will prevail. Nothing else I can or I want to say. Crypto sell-off resumes as week-long FTX saga ends in bankruptcy filing. Now you need to understand one thing, because these kind of monies which has been going into the crypto market. So one thing is very clear: whether it is a medium of exchange or whether that digital currency holds any value or not, I don't want to discuss anything out of it. But the old economics, what the old economic is saying, that when do you call something as an asset? An asset will always be something that creates value for you. Okay, for example, if you have land, then obviously you can grow rice, crop, millet, vegetables, and that creates value for you. If you have land and you build a house on that, so you can give it to a rent, or you can make turns into a hotel from where you can uh, earn money. So there is some sort of values whenever you are calling as an asset. But when you're talking about cryptos, it is more like a medium of exchange. So that value part, this is my understanding. If I am thinking something wrong, then obviously you can share your thoughts. Thoughts are always welcome, because they are insightful. If they are logical, they are insightful, and understanding or listening to new thoughts will always give 10 dimensions to any sane thinker or any sane reader or listener. Okay, so thoughts will always be welcome if they are logical, and if somebody who knows the thing better than me, then obviously I will be grateful. Apart from that, you need to understand one thing when I'm talking about value, that when an asset goes up or down in financial market, obviously it is chased by money. When money goes into any particular asset, it will go up. If the asset started crumbling down, it means money goes out of the system. So what does that mean? Okay, even though there are a set of people who are definitely uh, very bullish on this particular sector, okay, for particular financial instrument of cryptocurrency or this business, but the money outflow is huge, and that's why we can see that the stability is not there. So it will take time, it will definitely take time, and let's see how much time will it take. But obviously you need to understand in terms of it will be a your thought process must be a combination both old and new economics. It must not be a rudimentary one where you are fixed to one set of thoughts. You need to welcome, and you need to listen to everybody who is a known person for their or for his or her own fields. If that boy or that girl is good in their field, you have to at least listen to everybody. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. And apart from that, yeah, UK thing we have already. Then we have I don't want to go into geopolitics. This is they are doing, and being a superpower, if US is the superpower, they must not make these kind of statements. They do whatever they want to do, that's up to them. But making these statements, we know that when statements comes out from the White House, it makes headlines across the globe. But the economy of the US is not in a good stage, that's for sure. Okay, and apart from that, let us see. So I think this is most of it. Now, that one thing which I want you to know and want you to understand is, please do not mix and match stock market cycle, business cycle, and economic cycle. Okay, now these three things are completely different. And for example, you see on one side you have Nasdaq, which is moving higher, and you see on another side Disney cutting jobs. So here you can clearly see the stock market cycle is different because the equity market is moving higher, whereas the business cycle, they are in a different zone because they started cutting their job forces, and they are not doing any extraordinary expenses, or they are in a cost control mode. So the thing is, don't try to mix and match all these things, because stock market cycle will be much faster than economic and business cycle. Because see, first you will see the impact on stock market cycle, then you will see the impact on business cycle, then you will see the impact on economic cycle. Okay, so economic cycle or business cycle must be, sometimes it is in second place or third place, but the first place will always be captured by the stock market cycle. So the stock market will factor in both inflationary phase and a recessionary phase way beyond than anybody can imagine. So whenever you are saying that there are much to be seen on either on the upside or on the downside, you better understand what you are saying and are you fully aware about the market cycles. Okay, so now let's jump into the US market close, the phenomenal one. We will discuss the chart and you will see the magic. And I've been saying this from 30,000, and now Dow Jones closed at 33,747. So it's been a 3,747% of damn big move in 1 month. So those who have listened, those who have acted, they have made a very good money, and I congratulate them all. And if you don't follow, if you don't see, that is up to you. People will never listen, so I can't pamper each and everybody, and I'm not here to make everybody happy. That's up to you how you conceive things, whether you make something good out of it or not. That is completely depend upon your thoughts, your imagination, your action, your logical thinking. Apart from that, I've been talking about gold. Now from 1680 to 1744, it's been nearly $100 worth of move in the last 10 days, 10 or 14 days. And if you have watched my previous videos, I have been saying this thing, and now within a couple of days you will see a swift move. $100 move is not a small thing that we have seen in gold. Oil has also gained a bit. But what has changed is VIX is now continuously going from 25 to 22, which is a very good thing. Now let us go to and recently about silver. I have already made a recent video on silver. Okay, you just go and check it out, because I think silver is about to make a big breakout. So if you want, you can go and check out my latest video on silver. I have a specific video on that, so I'm not going to explain it over here. Also, the important thing is, now there is a huge fall. Okay, you can clearly see that there is a huge fall in the treasuries. I think there is some change. So I mean, 30-year US 30-year treasury is not visible right now. So this is very funny. Let us see what the chart is saying as far as US 30-year yield is concerned. So this is very funny. They moved out from the, so US 30-year yield closed at 4.05%, and the 3-month is 4.18. I have been saying this, that when 3-month surpasses yield of 3-month treasury yield surpasses the yield of 30 years treasury yield, you will see recession. and I'm talking about an economic recession. I'm not talking about, stock market crises. I've just said do not try to mix and match these kind of things. So this is an indication. Now after 2 weeks both are flat. After 2 weeks we can clearly see the 3 month simply crossed 30 years yield, and this is a very good and very clear indicator that US economy will definitely go into recession. The probability is extremely high. And the big thing is dollar index. I have been saying this thing for couple of months, I would say. And if you are somebody who have built your portfolio in the last couple of months, not in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but in the last couple of months, you are definitely reaping up the fruit even in the very short term. So from 115 to 106, it's been nearly 7% kind of fall. And remember, we are talking about currency, which is the global currency and mother of all currency that we are talking about, okay, or reserve currency, whatever you may want to call it as. But we have seen a huge crash. Okay, 7% move is a huge crash. So let's start our analysis with the DXY, then we will discuss about the rest of the things. So now when recessionary you can clearly see, so this is currency we are talking about. We have never seen this 7.5% worth of fall that we have seen, and you can clearly see the indicators, the long term indicators are now trending lower. So this is a clear cut indication, and in the monthly chart you can clearly see a red candle. Then in the weekly chart it is much more horrible. So what one can expect as far as dollar index is concerned, and this is very good for equity market, and that's why I have been saying that equity market will surprise higher. If you are thinking that equity market will go lower and there is a crash, no, currency has a direct correlation, and if you don't understand that, then you must go and understand the basics of stock market before applying your mind. So looking at this is the weekly chart of dollar index. So the next big support will be 103 and 101, and if it falls below 101 or $100, if the DXY index falls below 101 and $100, it will move towards 90 and 89. So a big crash is waiting. A big crash is definitely waiting. And if you still want to short the market, better be very very aware about this fact, then that you will become beggar. If you are all in with your money and created shorts for you and taken short position, you are taking the biggest risk right now, because market will wipe out all your money, and it will happen very soon. So don't try to do things which you don't understand. Rest is up to you. And I think I may talk a little bit about the US 30-year yield, and you will get the similar kind of indications as far as the technical indicators are concerned. So the weekly and the daily chart, they are making some indications that here we are. So for the time being, this is not down and out. This is not down and out. So let me show it to you. So the first support will be 3.63. If it breaks below 3.63, then you will see a big move towards 2.29 or 2.3. This will definitely take times, maybe couple of months, okay, but this is the trend which is generally available. So if the US market goes into recession, as I told you, when the 3 months, let me show you the, I think, yeah, the yield curve. It will give you a much better idea what is happening. Now you can clearly see, right? Now you can clearly see what is happening. So I think this is the 3 month, 4.28, and this is the 30-year 4.03. Now you can clearly see this is the inverted yield curve. It is not flat because the short end of the range has started moving higher and the long end of the range is started moving lower. And whenever it had happened in the past, as you can see, it called for a 2000 crash. Then it has happened in, I think, 2006. Then we have seen a big crash. Now there is an old saying, if you are looking at the previous chart, you can clearly say that there will be a crash again, okay, and that those crash will be like 50 or 60%, but that will not happen. A 50-60% or 70% crash will not happen because we haven't seen those kind of things building up again. And the important thing is, now central banks, it was not previously when the central banks comes into the rescue, but now the central banks across the globe are very, very active. And we know that recession is already there and most of the economies were in recession. But in 2000 and 2007, even when they are increasing the rate hikes, making the rate hikes very fast, the US Fed, they are saying, even in 2008 they are saying that the economy is in good shape, until and unless then we have seen the Lehman crash and other big crashes, and then the entire financial market collapse. Okay, so those are completely different scenario. Now things are completely different and a big correction has already been happened. So correction not always mean a 50-60% worth of crash. That is highly unlikely. If that will happen, I can't say it will not happen, but if that will happen, that is, I would say, a rare event. If that happens, then we will see. But because a recession has already started creeping in, not only in US but different parts of the globe, and we have seen a huge slowdown across the globe, so we cannot expect, until and unless the world will fall tomorrow, then it would be a different scenario. But things are not looking the same. Do not directly compare. I can also compare that because it has happened in 2000 and 2007, and that's why it will happen in 2022-23. That's not the right way to analyzing things. Now let's come to check the Nasdaq. In terms of percentage, it has moved significantly. It has literally moved significantly on the upside. And right now, so this is the weekly chart. Right now it looks like a base has already been formed, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw simple lines, okay, and you will see. Just try to connect the dots, okay, just try to connect the dots, nothing else. And here we are. You cannot do a pinpoint accuracy, so don't try to do that. You need to do some adjustment all the time, okay. So this is what we have here. So on the downside, now let us understand the trend. On the downside you have 10,000, and if this is the low, then we will definitely move towards or in between 21 and 28,000 going forward, in the upcoming months and years. So this is what we are expecting as far as Nasdaq is concerned, the big trend, or the how does it looks like. Now let's go and recheck DJI. Dow Jones has performed significantly better, and you can see the move, phenomenal move we have seen. And if you are looking at the long term chart, this is the weekly chart of Dow Jones, and the weekly chart of Dow Jones is indicating very clear trend. And here we are. I need not to do anything extraordinary, and you can clearly see the trend in front of you. So on the downside, here we are, the support levels on the downside. Okay, here we are, the support levels on the downside. So what we can expect from Dow Jones is a big support of 29,000 on the downside, and on the upside it will move towards the range that we are looking at will be in between 45 and 56,000. So this is a 3-degree shift that we can observe in the stock market, and the stock market is indicating a big move unless something started faltering. But the important thing to understand here is, with all the inflation data, with all the economic data, with all the uncertainties, stock market is moving higher, and this is the case for the bull market, because bull market will always climb the wall of worry. So the internal structure of the bull market is intact, and that's why we have seen big moves even when the market indicators or the market news is not positive. And I will say you one more thing, and this is a very big statement which I am going to make, that the stock market will be there till 2029. I have some reasons for that. I will not explain. Maybe if somebody is watching this video after 5 or 6 years and somebody finds it relevant, and then we may talk at that time. But this is what I think. So we are at the very beginning stage, if you want to call it as. And if you are thinking that this is end of the story and all those things, so things are turning. So you need to understand the dynamics before getting into some sort of conclusion. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.